Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power with Kyle Walls here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and we are coming live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. That is 833-212-1017. 1017. You can call in, text in with any of your thoughts or comments on today's show. In addition to that, you can watch and stream us live on the YouTubes by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can give us a like. You can give us a share. You can give us a subscribe so you do not miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows, as we are on our road to 6,000 subscribers. What up, Truth Nation? Shout out to my producer, Rhea Riley, holding it down on the ones and the twos.
Hello, hello, hello.
And shout out to you, Truth Nation. Now, before I get into it, I got a couple things that just randomly popped up here. I'm sitting here. I opened up the 1017 The Truth Talking text line that you can call in, text in. And I see comments, and I guess DT was in today, huh? And I see people talking about side chicks only exists because of monogamy doesn't work. No one wants to admit it. Wow. That's a take. Why do you shake your head? Being monogamous is probably going to be, not for me, but it's probably one of the most challenging things for so many people, is that after 30 years of being with the same person, like, I don't believe men were put on earth to be with one person. Nor do I think women. I think this is a choice I happily make. I'm just saying, I just think it's a choice that people make. I don't think it's the most natural thing, to be honest. And then I see DT would love to take you out. I wouldn't care how you are. Too beautiful to pass up the opportunities. Boy, oh boy. DT is more of a bourbon glazed savory entree. Why y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Not disagreeing, but I'm just saying, like, a woman can't come on here without y'all wanting to hit on her? Is that what life is? Hell, if I was a woman, I'd be a very attractive one. Very attractive. I'm thick. I have assets. I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it 100. The one thing I'm concerned about, not concerned about, is what it is. I really don't care. But when I have children, I'm thick in the legs, and my lady thick in the legs too. And I think we're pretty attractive people. I think we'll make some cute babies. I think we'll make some really good. Her eyes are beautiful. Has 3 different color eyes. Depends on what shirt she's wearing. If I have daughters, I'm very concerned about like damn, like people gonna be trying to gawk at my girls. I just don't. I don't want that. I don't want that.
That's your role as a dad, to tell them how to tell that man to stop touching you.
No, touch. Better not put their hands nowhere near them. But I don't want to be cat called. I told you one time I got catcalled by a gay man. Yeah, what a surprise. I was across the street from the gay bar.
Well.
And I was, but no. I wasn't across, I was down more. I think I was coming from, like the 720 area. And I never forget, I don't know. I just remember it was on that side of town. He said something like along the lines of, "Ooh, you look good. What's up?" I said, "Oh, me?" I said, "No, thank you." And he said, "F you then, ugly." N-word, ugly A N-word. I said, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I said, great, this got turned up quick.
Yeah.
I said, goodness gracious, I know what women feel, because I had a friend who used to act that way. He had some stuff going on, but I never forget when he used to hit on women. And then if they got rejected, he's like, he wouldn't be threatening.
Them?
Yeah.
Wow.
When we were 19, 20, not like aggressive, but like, well, bleep you then, H, and keep going.
Yikes!
I'm like, bro, that's wild.
Yikes, Kyle.
No, I know. No, I don't really talk to him. Other things.
And you didn't correct his behavior when that happened?
I was 19, 20, 21. No, I wasn't.
Still adult. What's legal adult?
I wasn't correcting behavior of other people when we out drinking, having a good time, walking away. He's like, dang, bro, that's wild. I would say, hey, buddy, you respect women. You don't say that to them. Nah, you're a kid. You're just having a good time. It's just, but now as you get older, you realize that there's some irresponsible things that you may have partaken in.
Well, golly gee, Kyle.
I have never disrespected a woman like that if I got rejected. Rarely did I get rejected because I didn't put myself out there to get rejected. I'd be damned. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
So with your daughters, you have to tell them how to protect themselves,
yes,
but also to make sure they can stand up for themselves. But for their men, if you have a son, you have to make sure they know how to speak to women.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my son, don't
not no, we just kids.
If you didn't see me doing this to your mama, then don't be nobody else but a Wallace. See, I didn't disrespect women like that because that wasn't me. Like I didn't feel right saying, "Oh, bleep you then." Like,
you enabled it though.
Huh?
Enabled it.
I didn't enable it. I watched it happen, and I didn't stop it. I was like Donald Trump when he watched people, with pedophiles around his, property down in Mar-a-Lago.
He's one too.
Ah, well, we don't know.
Allegedly, I guess.
We don't know about that. I don't know. But then the other thing, before I get into off the top, is I don't know if y'all saw what happened with Giannis yesterday, but I think it's something that people should take note of. I told y'all Giannis won't be a Buck next year. I'm just being honest with y'all. The 2026-2027 NBA season, Giannis will not be in a Bucks jersey. And yesterday, the Bucks was getting 30 ball. The score was 76 to 30 something. I think 38 at the end of the first half. And what would you do if your team was down almost 40? Boo! Boo! You would boo.
Your own team.
Hell, you're getting 40 ball, and then to top it off, Giannis missed 2 free throws to end the first half. Yeah, you get booed. That's a bad performance.
Would you boo the Packers?
I don't boo. Talk about, wait a minute. I don't boo. As a fan, I don't boo. But I understand when people boo. And so fans are booing. They're getting 30 ball by the Timberwolves. And if you know anything about the Timberwolves, they have a guy named Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert was the Frenchman that when the pandemic started, he joked about it. He touched all the mics, and then his team ended up. Yeah, Rudy Gobert, really good NBA player, all defensive player, defensive player of the year before. Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is one of the young, up-and-coming, great NBA players. Neither of them played yesterday.
Whoa, and they still lost that bad?
And we were down by 30, almost 40 in the first half. That's why they got booed. Dante DiVincenzo, who used to play for the Bucks, he was the baller last night. Julius Randle, it wasn't even, so that's why they got booed, is these backups, not backups, but like the non-stars came into town and 30-balled you. And Giannis, after the game, after he got booed, so what happened was, so in the second half, Giannis drives to the rack, he scores, get fouled, and he's on the ground for his and one, and he puts his thumbs down and he says, boo, boo, in a reaction to the crowd. And after the game, he addressed it saying, yeah, I did boo the crowd. Yeah, this is a guy that I love and appreciate, want him in Milwaukee as long as possible. He's done.
It's time.
He's done. They're losing. Now he's lashing out. Like, he needs a fresh start somewhere.
I mean,
he ain't gonna make
seats. There's like 5 people there, so you got booed by 5 people.
Yeah, no, the Bucks are struggling with it. There's a ticket giveaway tomorrow on ESPN BOGO. Buy one, get one free. So do know, if buy one, get one free on ESPN tomorrow for Bucks tickets. I plan on getting the tickets.
You
should
go?
Get some too. Yeah, I'm gonna get some tickets. They got multiple games you can go to during the month of January and February.
All right.
So I plan on going. You can buy tickets for as low as $20 and get two. Come on now, $10 a ticket to go see the Bucks. Go see Giannis. I'm doing it.
All right, well, have fun.
I'm doing it. But with that being said, Truth Nation, I'm going to hit y'all with Off the Top here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Truth Nation, what in the world happened to Decorum? What happened to decorum in this country? Yesterday, I'm just on the social medias, and yesterday I'm looking at my phone, and I see the President of the United States of America used an obscene gesture towards an American and mouthed swear words at an American civilian. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the reason why I bring this up is because do y'all remember back over a decade ago when Barack Obama was president, and Barack Obama walked out to a press conference with that swaggy strut that he has in a beautiful tan suit, and the whole world went on fire. Oh my gosh, he has on a tan suit. It was the most unpresidential thing we have ever seen. It was controversial. Boy, how we all long for the days that a tan suit was the most controversial, unpresidential, most ridiculous nonsense thing that a president have ever done. We went from a president wearing a tan suit being a problem to a president literally flipping the bird to an American citizen. But let's relive the travesty that happened in this country, the controversy, the unpresidential tan suit. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to relive this highly controversial time in American history when a president dared to wear a tan suit. Go to 1017 The Truth to see the story or relive the tan suit. Shout out to The Daily Show.
The president came out addressing reporters on Thursday, and he was wearing this tan suit.
President Obama's decision to wear a light tan suit at yesterday's news conference. He was wearing a tan suit.
Light tan suit.
I think it was shocking to a lot of people. Is this an effort to make him look warmer?
There's no way I think any of us can excuse what the president did yesterday. I mean, and then for him to walk out, I'm not trying to be trivial here, but in a light suit, light tan suit.
Also known as Tangate.
Tan suit, and how the tan suit made him look unpresidential.
Whoever talked him into going into a tan suit, they're so desperate because of these low poll numbers, they're willing to do anything.
The tan suit made him look unpresidential.
Don't you all just wish that was the conversation? Now, Tangate, unpresidential, low poll numbers, they'll do anything. They'll walk a man out in a tan suit. That is crazy to me. What a horror that was. Oh, my gosh. The world was falling apart because a man wore a tan suit. And now, again, we have a president flipping the bird to American citizens. We used to be a country where being a leader of the free world actually meant something. Leadership meant something. We used to be the model, an example for the rest of the world to follow. And when you see things like this, and Rhea, whenever you're ready, you can put the photo up, but a president should conduct themselves with integrity, dignity, humility, responsibility, and also with the respect of the rule of law and our Constitution. That's the way a president should carry themselves. What I saw yesterday was a reminder that the president, the chaos that he has created in this country, is a complete reflection of the leadership at the top. So what you see happening around us, all this nonsense over and over and over, the tension, the controversy, all this stuff that you see happening in this world is reflected from the man who is in charge of running this country, in Donald Trump. The fact that this man yesterday traveled to a Ford plant factory where he was meeting with Chinese automakers and or different people and having conversations and boasting about, the rebirth of the auto industry at a Ford F-150 plant in Dearborn, Michigan. And then it turned into this. Now, I will be very honest and transparent because I keep it 100. When he went there, he was getting chirped, which in itself to me is disrespectful to the Oval Office and to the president, to have the president in your presence at your job and to sit there and chirp him. I do believe that is disrespectful for somebody to do. You don't treat the president that way. But instead of responding with class and responding as somebody who should be above all the noise, he responded like an a-hole and a jerk and was somebody that has a very little ego, fragile ego. This all stems from the fact that when he went to the Ford factory, an employee there named TJ yelled out to him, said, "Hey, you're a pedophile protector. You protect pedophiles, which in reality is true. It's true. He does protect pedophiles. And a regular person, like when Joe Biden got chirped last year by that white man, Joe Biden ended up putting on a MAGA hat. Now, that was when Joe Biden wasn't running for president, but he was still president of the United States, and he went somewhere, and the guy said, put the hat on, and he said, sure, because he was above all the controversy. The man tried to chirp him, and all of a sudden, he tried to turn him into a friend. This is so unpresidential. The president responded by saying, back to the man that called him a pedophile protector, he said, F you. F you. You're fired. And then he literally flipped him the bird. You can go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, and you can see the president of the United States, this old senile man, flipping the bird to an employee at a Ford factory because the man called him a pedophile protector, which is true. And in response, the White House was asked about the incident that happened, and the White House had this to say. A White House said a lunatic was wildly screaming explicitives in a complete fit of rage, and the president gave an appropriate and unambiguous response. My ass. The only lunatic in this scenario is the lunatic that told somebody F you when he's there on business, told somebody you're going to get fired or you're fired as if he has the authority or power to fire somebody. The man was suspended without pay. And then flipped them the bird. In what world is this appropriate? These folks will lie and never take any ounce of accountability ever. Ever. The man is unhinged. He's a lunatic, and the White House lacks any type of decorum whatsoever. They should correct that type of behavior. But here's the thing y'all got to understand, Truth Nation. A hit dog will holler. A hit dog will holler, and Trump, who is indeed a pedophile protector, hollered loudly. He yesterday. Oh, that man hollered. And I'll tell you why, Truth Nation, why he hollered like that. Because he knows he's guilty. The real question y'all need to be asking is, if it isn't true, why was he so bothered? Why was the president so bothered by a random person, a random no-name, we can say that, calling him a pedophile protector if he isn't protecting pedophiles? Why would he be so irritated? If somebody lied on you or said something about you, you should be able to ignore it. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But with them words is new, when them words is real, when them words actually come with some truth to it, they hurt a little bit. They sting a little bit. So, Truth Nation, the reason why it was so bothering for Donald Trump is because it is 100% true that he chose and still chooses to protect pedophiles over people in the Epstein files, and women in the Epstein files who were groomed, women in the Epstein files who were drugged, raped, and sexually assaulted. He still chooses to protect them. And this isn't just me trying to be, me being negative towards Trump. His own words, he said, we shouldn't release these files because it may hurt a lot of good people. That's what he said. I didn't put those words in his mouth. How I know he's protecting pedophiles because there's information out there in the Epstein files that shows that Jeffrey Epstein was grabbing young women from his club down in Mar-a-Lago, and instead of reporting it to the police, he said, I'm going to kick him out. He said, I kicked the guy out. So you knew somebody was picking women to groom them from your place, and you think you deserve a cookie because you kicked him out from being able to come to your place to groom and pick women, but you didn't report him to the police if you knew what he was doing with those women. You were an enabler. You protected pedophiles. As Rhea said to me, why didn't you tell your friend not to stop yelling at them women? I was protecting my friend from, I guess, just catcalling women. And while Trump was protecting Epstein and other people from getting law enforcement involved when he was raping and drugging women. So I'm just saying he's a pedophile protector, and that's the reason why he got so upset that he said F you, that he got so upset that he said you're fired, even though he has no authority or power to do it, and that's why he got so upset of why he flipped them the bird, the president of the United States of America. That's why, because he is indeed a pedophile protector. I mean, if it wasn't true, he would just keep walking. I can only imagine how mad he was behind closed doors when they had conversations about these Epstein. If he can't control himself at that moment, I can only imagine the type of fury and wrath and how mad he was behind closed doors when they talked about the Epstein files.
Just a small little man.
Yeah, probably, he paid for it, so it don't matter how small little man he is, he's still paying for it. Money can get you anything, boost all your confidence.
So you telling me you wouldn't go to an event and yell at the president?
I would not chirp the president in that way, call him a pedophile protector. As a member of the media, I would ask him, why do you seem to want to protect pedophiles when I had to formulate I would ask him a question of why he deemed it necessary. Why did he not deem it necessary to report Jeffrey Epstein to the police, but just kick him out of Mar-a-Lago if he knew what Jeffrey Epstein was doing or he had an inkling of what he was doing?
But even if you weren't in the media, so you're like the Ford worker that was there.
No. Because I'm not a disrespectful person. I do believe the act was disrespectful because at the end of the day, he is the president of the United States, and I do think there's some decorum that should be shown. And just because of the fact that even though, it's a hot mess, so what he did yesterday, though I think it's disrespectful, is on par for what this country is, complete chaos. So this is the energy that Trump created. It really is. This is a reflection of the America that he created. Had he been somebody that would have been sensible and carried himself with more class, this would have never happened. But he carries himself with absolutely no class, and this is the type of environment that he created. He created an environment where people will disrespect him, and this is what happens. So that is on him. But no, I personally would not yell that to the president of the United States of America. But I don't blame this young man or this gentleman, TJ, for doing it because this is what he wants. When you have people in the streets getting dragged out of their cars, you got people. There's a black man who drove a Tesla who was asked for an ID. This is a brother. This wasn't a Somalian-looking brother. No, this is a brother. They asked him for his ID. Let me see your ID to make sure you're American. Like, this is the chaos they created, so this is the result you get. 833-212-1017. That was just off the top that I had of talking about the fact that the president flipped the bird to somebody at a Ford factory yesterday, which is just ridiculous. We went from literally a conversation, we were literally being upset about a tan suit to a president saying F you to a civilian at his job. That's a civilian's job. Crazy. 833-212-1017. If you do have any comments on that, go ahead, call in. I see you, Al. We'll get to you on the other side. But we're going to continue this conversation. But in addition to that, I do want to talk about segregation and why segregation was actually a good thing for Black America.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to co-host of the Dunker Spot podcast, Steve Jones. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
The MPS City Conference basketball season is starting to heat up, and we are bringing you all the live hoops action right here on 1017 The Truth. This Friday night, we have a City Conference matchup as the Milwaukee School of Languages Hawks travel to take on the Audubon Tech Cardinals. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. City Conference basketball is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS Proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease. which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkbylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
New year, new mattress. Start 2026 feeling rested and make an impact while you do it at Steinhofels. All January, stop by Steinhofels and test rest any mattress. For every test rest, they'll donate $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin, a nonprofit creating dream bedrooms for children with cancer. And just for trying a mattress, you'll get a $20 lunch gift card, a better night's sleep, and a chance to help make a child's dream bedroom come true. The January test rest event is only at Steinhofels. I plan on doing my test rest very soon. You should do yours as well because it's for a good cause. But also go shop around and find some great things at Steinhofels. Looking to upgrade your house? They have all the different options, whether you're trying to upgrade your bedroom, your dining room, your living room, your basement. They have it all. Go to Steinhofels or visit them at steinhofels.com. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm Kyle Wallace, your host of Truth to Power. And on the other side, I was talking about the fact that we have just lost so much control of this country, and the chaos that you see at the top is a complete reflection of the chaos that we see everywhere happening. Just everywhere. Donald Trump has caused so much chaos in this country, and yesterday he went to a Ford factory in Dearborn, Michigan, and while he was there, an employee yelled to him, you're a pedophile protector, you're a pedophile protector. Now, a normal president that has class, who has humility, who walks with honor, wouldn't even respond. But not Donald Trump, old senile man. He said, F you, you're fired, and flipped the guy off. 833-212-1017. Al, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump flipping a bird to an American citizen?
Well, he know who he is, so this shouldn't be new. People who hate love to rape. South Carolina. Trump supporter rapes a 2-year-old infant. And one more thing, Kyle, segregation, we got too many coons and double agents. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Al. Thank you. I appreciate that. Double agents, I guess. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. A snowflake has entered the chat. I love when the Trump folks come in and get mad. I'm telling you right now, we have had the flip of these folks love to be the biggest victims in the world. The biggest victims in the world. I love all the little snowflakes. Mad about a tan suit, and then a man flips somebody off, and it's just like, wow, he shouldn't have been talking crazy. Snowflakes. It's crazy how things change. But 833-212-1017. On the other side, before I went to break, I alluded to something for y'all, Truth Nation. I asked the question, was segregation, or I should say, was desegregation the worst thing which happened to the black community? And there was a quote that people talk about, and a lot of times it's misquoted, but it's talking about being walked into a burning fire. That's what Dr. Martin Luther King said. But as part of that, he said, do we integrate ourselves into a burning building? Did we integrate ourselves into a burning building? When he talked about the burning building, he was talking about where there's so much economic injustice, so much systemic racism, so much moral decay, and that the structure of this house that he walked us into was destined to collapse and fail. That's what he was talking about when he was talking about walking us into a burning building. And people talk about segregation and desegregation, and trust me, segregation was wrong. It was bad. But there are times when I look around this country and I think that segregation gives people an excuse for their failures. And I'm one who does not play victim. I don't play the victim. As being one of the few black people that work around here, you won't see me play victim, but you will see me give facts. You will see me point out hypocrisy. You will see me point out the fact that there's a lack thereof. That's something that I'm more than happy to do. I'm more than happy to sit in the room and say, this is what happened. How do you allow that? This ain't up to the standard. I set standards. That's the problem for me. That's why I talk to Rhea all the time. I say, Rhea, listen, you can't do this, but I will. I set standards. If you ain't living up to my standard, I'll let you know. I will let you know because when I was running the truth, I tried to make sure I lived up to a standard. I tried to make sure if I told somebody to do something, they don't follow, or they know if I say you need to do this, do know that I can do it my damn self too. That's what leadership is. And so I feel like here in America, too often, sometimes people like to play victim. Now, don't get it twisted now. There are inequalities in this country, and there's a lot of unfairness in this country. And that we have to point out, that we have to report on. But when I see reports about white men being victims of civil rights movement, it makes me mad. How the hell y'all the victim of civil rights movement? It makes me mad because it completely ignores the fact that they had to create laws to ensure that companies, corporations, business leaders, organizations, government structures truly evaluated people based off their skill set and not just hiring people based off their skin tone. That is what the civil rights did. It gave people opportunities because prior to that, people were being denied opportunities because of their name or because of their blackness, the color of their skin. So when I see a president say civil rights led to white people being very badly treated, I roll my eyes in disbelief that people of color can support such an imbecile. The poor, poor white people and their history of being oppressed. Oh, Rhea, they were so oppressed. I'm sure watching all these white men hang from trees was just so traumatic for them. Oh, I'm sure that, having not being allowed to vote was so bad for the white people back in the day. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I'm sure all those bus boycotts they had to organize back in the day, that was so much work for them. I wonder who their Claudette Colvin is, R.I.P., and their Rosa Parks. They ain't got one. I'm sure being denied housing by Trump because they were black was so difficult for them to handle, and I'm sure the fact that when appraisers come to their houses and they appraise their houses, and they see all those white photos and they value the house at so much more than what they would when they see black people. I'm sure that is such a struggle. It's so hard. Stop it. So that's why I don't believe in that. We get denied access to generational wealth just based off pictures inside of our households. So no, that's bull crap. But what I will say is this, is that I get frustrated with the fact that white men are now becoming the victims, but also I do not want my people to move in a mindset of saying, oh, woe, it's me, or the mindset of being a victim. I think that sets you up for failure. And I say this all because I was reading an article, a very good article, by a woman named Kaylin. I think her last name was Hunnen. I couldn't say it. It was an Asian last name. It was spelled Huyhn. I didn't know how to say it. Huyhn? I don't know. I had no idea, but it was an excellent article in the Journal Sentinel talking about 50 years after desegregation of Milwaukee public schools and where Milwaukee stands now. Now, in 1976, the makeup of MPS was very different than what it is now. The district overall was 60% white and 34% black. Now the district is 50% black, 25% Hispanic, 10% Asian, and 9% white. Now, this conversation that we're going to have today is based off that fact that 25% of Milwaukee public schools are considered hyper-segregated schools. Now, what does hyper-segregated school mean? That means that 25% of MPS schools have one race making up 90% of the school. So basically, there's multiple schools. 25% of the schools are 90% black. That's basically what MPS is. And 833-212-1017, with that in mind, what comes to mind when you hear that a quarter of the schools of MPS are hyper-segregated? What went through your mind when you heard that? And tell me something, why does it matter? That is a serious question that I have. Why should I care as a person that a school is majority white or black? Why should that make a difference in the educational outcomes? 833-212-1017. That is a legitimate question that I have, because when I see that people are talking about the impact of desegregation and what we don't have with MPS and talking about how the school is still so segregated, why do I care? And that's a real question. Why do I care that MPS is 50% black? Why do I care that 25% of the schools are 90% black? Why does that make a difference in the educational outcomes? 833-212-1017. We're going to go to break. When we come back, Ron on the South Side, it looks like Trump middle finger is something that you want to talk about. We'll get in desegregation, so we'll continue the conversation on the other side. But I'm asking a question. Why do we care that our schools are segregated? Why does it matter to you, Truth Nation? 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. And you can join and watch and stream us live on YouTube. And we'll do all that on the other side.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It starts with a spark. At Milwaukee College Prep, they nurture that spark from age 3 through 8th grade, building scholars with knowledge, character, and confidence. 88% of their students face economic hardship, but that does not define them. At MCP, they see students' potential, and they help them live up to that potential. 4 campuses, 1 mission, college and beyond. MCP is free, high-performing, and open to all Milwaukee families. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to enroll or get involved. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
He's the voice for the people and the community's connection to change.
Regroup, rethink, and reshape, and get on the front lines. It's only to your benefit. I always tell people, you helping the overall ideal of a better community, it actually helps you out. It helps you out. It helps your family out. It's time. Do not bring that reactionary attitude into the new year. This is the best time to start fresh. This is the plot. They plot this out, and it's been going on for years. This is normal. This is the way it is. This is where we are right now. It's all buddy-buddy. And if you're not a part of the friend situation, you're not getting in. They don't want nobody getting in and seeing where the messy. That's why I'll never get in. Because they know I'm not going to play around about my community. They know I'm not going to sit in no meetings and see y'all shucking and jiving and sniggling and giggling and not say nothing about it. I'm going to tell you to shut up.
The Tory Lowe Show, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Live on YouTube and right here on 1017 The Truth.
I'm Angela Bassett. As a first responder on screen, I know what it means to act fast in an emergency. In real life, the same urgency can save lives, especially when it comes to a food allergy. For 33 million Americans, one bite can turn an ordinary meal into a life-threatening reaction. And too often, they don't have the one thing that could save them, epinephrine. But emergencies don't wait. And when a severe reaction happens, being prepared makes all the difference. Now, there's a needle-free option, a new way to carry epinephrine that makes it easier than ever to be ready. No needles, no hesitation, because when the unexpected happens, the best thing you can do is be ready. Know the risk, know the options, be ready to act. Learn more at foodallergy.org/ready to act.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Bucks got rolled at home by 33. The Timberwolves win 139-106. Bucks were booed before halftime in the game.
Giannis is putting 2 thumbs down, beckoning to the side. I'm curious what that's about.
Bucks' next game is against Wemby in San Antonio tomorrow night. Marquette is down to 6-12 after getting rolled by St. John's 92-68. UWM is 8-10 on the year. Badger basketball wins 78-75 on a buzzer beater from John Blackwell against Minnesota. Big Ten Network on the call.
The 3 on the way. It goes! Tyson! Now Blackwell for the win!
Badgers now sit at 12-5 on the year. This Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. That's because their agents will make you feel totally protected with a home, auto, or life policy that's right for you. And if you're looking for a home, auto, or life policy, go to American Family Insurance. Go to amfam.com. amfam.com today. You can go online. You can get a quote instantly online at amfam.com, or you can find an agent near you, an agent that is local. So always remember, with American Family Insurance, you are free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Will be giving away some cash, well, an opportunity to win some cash money, and I think it might be the end of this month we're giving it away. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. It is. All right, well, coming up in a couple weeks, we better let some people know, because I don't think people know. We'll be giving away money here in a couple weeks here, so make sure y'all call in when I tell y'all to. But 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talking text line. Please make sure that you all are watching and streaming us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. We're talking about the desegregation of schools. Was that a good thing for MPS? Was that a good thing for Milwaukee? 833-212-1017. But also we have Ron in the South Side who wanted to talk about that. And Trump giving the middle finger while he was at the Ford factory. Ron on the South Side, what's happening?
Hey, Kyle, thanks for taking my call. Man, you need 2 hours. 1 hour ain't enough for me. I like your show. Anyway, as far as the education, back in the day when we were trying to desegregate schools, I wasn't born then, of course, but I've read the books and all that. You know, it was important for us to get that education because we felt at that time that black kids was not getting the same type of education as the Caucasian counterparts. So I could see us desegregating the schools or trying to get better information and newer books and up-to-date books and start stuff like that. But as far as today, people can go to college right off their phone. So we having it 50% of black people and 50% of white people, whatever it is, it doesn't matter no more. You can graduate right off your phone. So education is at your fingertips right now. So it doesn't matter what legitimately, it doesn't matter if it's 50% black. It does. That stuff is old school's out the window. Speaking of that, I admire that you want to have some type of decorum with the Oval Office and some type of respect and all that. But you got a pedophile protector in that he ain't respecting the office. So when that man yelled that out, I would have gladly taken this suspension because he yelled out the truth. And Obama was wearing a tan suit and people lost their mind. But this dude ain't respecting the office, throwing the middle finger, getting people knocked off. Come on, bro. Yeah, when we have somebody that's honorable and that's worthy of respecting that office, then I will show decorum. Up until then, it's screw Donald Trump. He's a pedophile protector. Thanks for taking my call.
F Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump. Hey, I mean, he preached. That's my whole thing. He's not honorable, right? And that is why this happened. If he was an honorable individual, if he was a normal president, he wouldn't have had this happen. But 833-212-1017, I appreciate the call, Ron, on the South Side. But going back to the conversation, talk about, yes, he's absolutely right. You're talking about 50 years ago, it was necessary to desegregate schools in order for people to have an opportunity to have the best textbooks. I remember they used to have classes that they used to take the black kids from the black schools in the city, and they used to bus them to the white schools where they had the opportunity to be inside of that school with the white kids for a couple hours of the day before they got bused back to their schools. They had different programs like that. And for me overall, fast forward 50 years, us still talking about the segregation of school gets us nowhere. And again, I am not a fan of being a victim. I just think when we hyper-focus on the race makeup of MPS, we start building in excuses on why the schools are failing. When you do that, you diminish the success stories that so many MPS schools have, especially with the academics that you see that come out of some of these schools, how academically positive these schools are doing, and not all of them, not enough of them, but some of them are doing, but also the successes of these students, black students specifically. So when you focus on desegregation, you are telling the world you need white students in order for black kids to have better results, which is far, far from the truth. That's why I disagree with that conversation that we're still talking about the makeup of the school. I don't hear these white schools talking about how they need more black students in order for their kids to achieve. Now, they say we need more black students for diversity, Hispanic students for diversity, but not when it comes to achievement. I don't hear some of these schools on the South Side, especially some of these private schools on the South Side, talking about how they need more white students inside their classroom so their kids can do better. They don't say that. The Cristo Rey Jesuit school, they ain't ask for more white kids. They ask for more funding. I don't see schools like Milwaukee College Prep asked for more white students. They just asked for more funding. I know there ain't some Asian schools on the West Coast. Them Asian kids ain't asking for more Hispanic, black, or white students. They focus on being academically excelling. So I actually believe that we are in a better position of power and have more control when the school system looks like us. So I actually do believe the fact that our schools are segregated here in Milwaukee and segregated around Milwaukee County is a positive for us. I don't think it's an issue that 25% of our schools have 90% of black people in it. That shouldn't interrupt the quality of education that our students have. We are pointing the finger at the wrong thing when we focus on the makeup of our schools. When you have a kid who is extremely, extremely impressionable at these young ages, we need to focus on how can we hit those kids the right way? How can we connect with those kids the right way? And I feel like it's not about segregation of the schools. I think it has everything to do with the economics of the community in the city of Milwaukee and the negative environment that these schools are around and the negativity that these kids are around. That, I think, plays a bigger role than what the hell they school look like. Because, again, as I said, you are so impressionable as a preteen and a teenager. From the age of 9 to 13, 14, 15, even up, but really that 9 to 15, you are extremely impressionable, and your environment will impact you because you go from being a child and a kid to being able to think, grow, make more decisions. You start to see the world a different way. You start to form who you are, your thoughts, and what you believe. There's 14-year-olds who are walking out of school because they're upset of what's happening with ICE in Minnesota. That is them forming who they're going to be and what their beliefs are. And so I think it's important for us to understand that we need to look past, the color of the school and really focus on how do we get these kids to achieve more. And when I think about MPS, we are not at the point where we should give a damn about what diversity is in the school. We're not there yet. Leave the diversity of the schools up to the suburban schools. Let them decide what they want diversity to look like. That's not what we need to do. We don't need to be focusing on diversifying our schools. Our focus needs to be on how can we stop making excuses for the lack thereof in our schools and find a better way to educate our students. That's where I think we need to put a lot of our energy and our focus on. Because the only segregation that is negatively impacting our students is the wealth inequality that we see in our communities that our schools are inside of. That's where the focus needs to be. Because students in highly segregated schools, especially the ones isolated by race and concentrated in impoverished areas, they tend to be the ones that score lower on standardized tests compared to their peers in other settings. We should focus on the why do we have so many low-income areas in our community versus the fact that our schools aren't segregated. 833-212-1017, PM Milwaukee. I'll take your call. You're on Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace.
How you doing?
Doing great, P. What are your thoughts?
Hello?
Yes, P. What are your thoughts today?
Oh, man. I can only speak from experience.
Yes, sir.
Because I think they need some parenting classes out here, actually. Because, man, I swear, I was over the Christmas holiday, I was with a friend of mine, and she brought her kids over, and I couldn't believe. I was like, how she raised her kids. I mean, it was like 2:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Her kids were up eating candy, and I was like, why are you giving them candy at 3 a.m.? They should be asleep.
What were the kids? Who was this friend you had over with her kids at 2:30 in the morning? They ain't got no house to go to?
No, they had their own house. They were just staying with me. But I'm just saying, I mentioned to her that, hey, it's kind of late to be giving these kids candy in the middle of the night because, I was ready to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure the kids was ready to go to sleep.
P. I bet you
know
would.
What I'm saying?
P said, you ready to go to sleep, huh?
Them candy,
yeah, they're going to be up.
But if you feed them candy, how they going to go to sleep if you feed them candy at 2 a.m.?
I agree.
2:30 a.m.
P, is she ever going to be invited back to your house?
She can't bring the kids.
I appreciate you. P said, listen. P said, they still up? What you mean, Candy? Candy? I'm trying to be put to bed. What you mean, Candy?
Boing, boing, boing.
Hey, I ain't mad at P, because P probably in his 50s, 40s, 50s. See, I don't know how old P is, but I can tell you this right now. P said, I listen, you said that you couldn't leave the kids at the house by themselves. It's late. I said, go ahead, bring them here, because I assumed they was just going to be asleep. I didn't realize they was going to be running around like it's the middle of the day. It's 2:30 in the morning. That is hilarious. I know he said, he said, he was ready to go to bed because he was sick of these kids. He's like, hell, I didn't bring you over here for that. I didn't bring you over here for no daycare. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. P is funny. P is hilarious. Thank you, P. I appreciate you calling in. But 833-212-1017. On the other side, I'll share my final thoughts on why I believe that we here in Milwaukee Public Schools, and the overall conversation that we're having about the segregated schools we have in Milwaukee, we need to move past segregated schools, and we need to focus on the fact that segregation in MPS might be a good thing because we actually have more power and control to dictate the future of our kids' academic outcomes. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. We'll wrap up the show on the other side. Oh, wait. No, we won't. We will, but hit it.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all. Is right now. It's your chance to be our One Call, That's All 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 5 right now at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of the Gruber Law Offices in the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Again, that is caller number 5 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, make sure you contact Gruber Law Offices today or visit gruber-law.com. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Ooh, them phone lines is on fire.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship, because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Here's to a Wisconsin winter you will always remember. To playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
This is your Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference Basketball Weekly Update on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The City Conference was rocking last Saturday at the Al McGuire Center on the campus of Marquette University as the City Review delivered non-stop hoops action like it always does. On the boys' side, the Milwaukee Juneau Pioneers stayed on fire as they defeated the Carmen Northwest Eagles 90-63, led by their junior sensation, Dooney Johnson. With that win, the Pioneers have won 9 of their last 10 games and look to continue on as they try to win a City Conference title. Now on to the girls' side, where they brought the intensity to the City Review as well, as the Golda Meir Owls locked down the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats for a 50-37 victory.
This has been your Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference Basketball Weekly Update. You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. You can always watch and stream us live by going to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. We can give us a like. You can give us a share. You can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 101.7 The Truth shows. Also, Truth Nation, the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is the home of... Yep, all right. Panthers basketball, and it is back in action tonight as they come home to take on the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies at UWM Panthers Arena. Scott Wars has the coverage starting at 5:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. In addition to that, Truth Nation, make sure y'all get y'all tickets to the second annual Truth Community Awards. Tickets are on sale right now, and you can visit 1017thetruth.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffel's Cousin Subs, and the Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace, and I'll wrap up with this, with my final thoughts, is on this conversation about segregation is that I understand the importance of diversity inside of schools, and I understand the importance of communities being diverse, but also when we're looking at MPS, the focus should be on why are these kids struggling? Why do they have fewer resources per student? Why do we have more teacher turnover and less experienced teachers? And why do we have socioeconomic and societal issues that happen in these areas which negatively impact our students? That should be the first thing we should focus on. We need to stop acting like we need this white savior inside of our classroom. What we need is more of an investment in our communities to uplift our communities and uplift our classrooms. Education to me isn't hard. It's not a coincidence that areas that have more money have better outcomes. It takes a village to be committed to aiming for academic excellence. It takes a community to understand the importance of what an education can do for someone. It takes a community to hold educational leadership, their children, and themselves accountable for improving student outcomes. And until we get all aligned and all in sync at one, we will continue in this perpetual revolving cycle of asking what is going wrong with our students' educational outcomes here in the city. This has been Truth to Power with Kyle Walls on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. The Tory Lowe Show is up next with 1 to 4. Peace out, Truth Nation. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
On Thursday night, the Milwaukee Panthers look to make it 2 wins in a row as they welcome the Oakland University Grizzlies to the UWM Panther Arena.
Pippa White on a drive and a pass back to the wing. Dixon darts, kicks, Franklin for 3, yes! Dixon step back, 3 ball is good. Josh Dixon.
Scott Wallace has the coverage Thursday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock.